To escape from prison, he did the same thing to the guards every single day. He would deliberately get close to them and quietly memorize the teeth pattern of the keys on their belts. When night fell, he would draw the key models from memory. Even the tiniest detail would be drawn dozens of times until he could replicate the key teeth with perfect accuracy. But this was just the first step of his escape plan. After the guards finished their cell checks, he would roll a piece of paper into a thin strip. He would then insert it into the keyhole and poke it with a pencil. When he pulled the paper out, it would have 2 creases on it. These creases revealed the exact length of the key. The third step was getting the key's outline. He would take another piece of white paper and press it tightly against the keyhole. He would repeatedly press and rub his fingers back and forth over the paper. Then he could directly trace the outline with a pencil. Now he had the key's teeth pattern, length, and outline, but finding materials to make the key became a real problem. Getting metal in prison was nearly impossible, but there was plenty of wood around. However, when Jack shared this idea, his escape partner immediately shot it down. His partner insisted that a wooden key could never open a prison door, but they didn't have any better options at the moment. So during workshop duty, Jack secretly grabbed a few wooden strips when the guards weren't looking. He planned to hide them in his thermos and sneak them past security, but just then, a guard started walking toward him. To cover for Jack, his partner deliberately knocked some items to the floor to distract the guard. However, the guard seemed to sense something was up and immediately ordered everyone to line up for individual searches. When it was Jack's turn, his extreme nervousness instantly raised the guard's suspicion. The guard picked up Jack's thermos and poured out the coffee inside. Then he shook it several times. Strangely, there was no sound of wooden strips rattling around inside. It turned out Jack had stuffed a rag into the thermos beforehand, which saved him from getting caught. When the dead of night arrived, Jack could finally start making his key. He used a file to carve a groove down the middle of the wooden strip. Then he smoothed it with sandpaper and filed out the key handle. He glued the 2 parts together and placed them inside a lampshade to dry. After the components were firmly bonded, Jack pulled out his hand-drawn blueprints. Following the diagrams, he kept filing and shaping the wood. After countless rounds of grinding and polishing, the key from his memory was finally complete. Now came the moment of truth. Jack excitedly inserted the key into the lock. As he gently turned his wrist, the wooden key smoothly engaged the internal mechanism. With a satisfying click, the lock actually opened. But before Jack could celebrate, what he saw next filled him with complete despair. The second door could only be unlocked from the outside.